come around to Loch Insh. It's a nice loch. The access points are a little bit limited to one side of it. There is a little bit of a walk from the water centre through some forest along the edge, but it ends abruptly, the path. I have photographed this loch before, so I know of at least one composition, but I've come a bit earlier than sunrise to have a look around and find a couple of compositions. The one that I photographed before in winter was a boat, a very old boat sitting half in the water, but I'm not sure if that boat is still there, if it's in the water or not, or what have you. So I've just got to see how what comes to mind when I go down and have a look around. I'm not sure if there's going to be any colours either. There's some heavy clouds around. There is a little bit of a break though, so hopefully there'll be just some colours lifting up and touching the clouds that are over the loch. Fingers crossed. And so I'm just going to put on my wellies, grab my gear and head out. Let's get going. I had to have a bit of a change of plans, as the boat that I was heading to, the track was completely flooded. So there might have been an access point along the road. I might have been able to find a way over the fence or something like that, but I decided to come along through the forest path, which was really dark for filming. I framed up a shot. It's a long lens shot, so the 70 to 200 millimeters it is on. It's not the best shot out there. I've got some reeds in the foreground, some mountains in the distance, and clouds. I'm just hoping that the clouds catch a bit of colour to really make it pop. But I'm just exposing anyway to see how it turns out. Depending on how the clouds light up, I might crop this as a 16:9 aspect ratio, because there's a lot of cloud in the frame, and so I think it would be better if it was a bit tighter on the composition of the mountains. So I've got on my 4-stop soft grad neutral density filter to bring in the highlights of the clouds compared to with the mountains and the forest and everything else. It's just a nice simple shot, to be honest. Nothing special. I'll put up the image with the settings, the one that I settled on, because as the light's changing I'm changing the shutter speed, so I'm not sure which one will turn out the way that I like it. So I'll put up the settings with the image in a second. I've just come round and reframed a bit using the 24 to 105mm lens. There is more colour in the sky now, but it was a bit too much over to the right from my last position, so I'm actually standing in the loch now. There's a bit more colour in the sky. It's more or less the same composition, and I'm definitely going to be cropping it down because the colour is only in the middle band, and the top band is just dark clouds and useless. I think I must be at about 80mm to fit everything in, maybe a bit less. I'll put that up in a minute as well. So the settings for this one is half a second f11 ISO 100 with a 2-second timer, and there is just a whisper of clouds. It's still going to be a fairly flat image. There's no really strong foreground anchor. There's nothing. The layers are a bit too tight together, so that it's not going to be the best image, I must admit. I was fascinated by this network of roots on this pine tree covered in moss. I really like the vibrant greens of the moss and the textures of the roots. I'm not sure about how this is going to turn out. I think I might even... No, I'm not going to. So I'm shooting wide at 24mm and quite close to the root network, just to try and get a sense of depth into the image. If I shoot further back or more zoomed in, it flattens it quite a lot. So I'm hoping that this turns out well. It's at f11 ISO 100 2.5 second exposure because of how dark it is here in the woodlands. So I've got that one in the bag. I'm going to head back along the track to my car and head to another location, I think. But there was another route network on the way to the loch that I saw that really interested me as well, so I might get that one as well. But I think I'll pack up and head that way. Change of plans. That route network that I saw on the way in was not as photogenic as I wanted, so I'm heading down to the bridge because there's this wonderful golden light on the landscape, and I wonder if I might be able to get a couple compositions on the bridge. Yeah, the problem is I'm walking in the road, which means I've got to be careful of cars, of course, and it's difficult to film. But I'm nearly at the bridge. I'll probably be using this pocket camera for the next bit, and then we'll see what I do from there. So that's my composition for a shot. It looks quite nice golden light, reflections in the loch, just a simple tree. It's just the golden light on these trees. They're just starting to turn yellow as well, which is quite nice. I have to keep moving my tripod because of cars, so it's not set up very well. So for this one, I've placed the island in the middle of the frame. It's in shadow right now, but I think I should be able to recover some of that in Lightroom. It's just a simple composition of the island, the clouds, and the loch, and we'll see how that turns out. So again, for this one, it's about those golden oranges and yellows of the tree that are just turning into their autumn colours. There's the mountain with the clouds, which is just here, which is bigger on the screen. And there's a little bit of an island, and this is where the Loch Insh becomes the River Spey again. And so it's quite a nice little image. I am definitely going to have to try and lift some of the shadows to get a bit more definition to the landscape, and I am just making sure I'm not clipping any highlights. Yeah, that's better. Highlights are harder to recover than shadows, so luckily with the Canon's famed high dynamic range, shadows are easily pulled back in Lightroom. Just a little bit, there should be shadows in the picture, but I want to be able to see what's in them as well. But I think I'm going to walk back to the car and see if I can go to another location and get a couple more images in this golden hour before the light becomes too flat. That's the plan. last stop this morning to make the most of this golden light. I've come round to Loch Alvie. It's on the way home. I am getting hungry and wanting some breakfast, so just pop out and get a few pictures. Even from here I can see that there is some nice reflections, so hopefully I'll get some decent shots. So the last shot of this morning, a very simple shot. It's Alvie Church in some nice golden light with these autumnal forest colours around, being reflected in the loch with the mountain in shadow with this cloud just touching the summit, just wisping across the summit. It's beautiful. One of the best shots I've got of this loch. I will have to do some work on the corner because there is a bit of a tree just sticking in, which I don't want, so I'll either clone it away or I'll crop it 4x5, and I'll write that in a little description about the settings for this shot. But the reflections are quite nice and painterly, not too still, not perfect. I like it when they're just a little bit smudged, you know, a little bit out of focus. When they're in focus, they just it looks fake almost, you know. But I'm really happy with that. That's it for this video today. It was quite a nice sunrise. I wasn't expecting it to be as nice as it was. I was in the wrong position for the colours though. It happens. You hear that a lot on this channel. It happens. So I just wasn't quite, the colours were more to the east. I was looking more southeast. They were more northeast, east. I tried to find a composition moving around, but there was no lock. It just stopped. So I wasn't really in the best place for the colours, but oh well. This last shot at Alvie is definitely my favourite from this morning. I think I really like the reflections, the colours, nice golden light, beautiful. So next up I think will be Loch Insh, another loch near to home that I haven't visited on this channel and I haven't got any decent photos of. So hopefully I can get some decent colours in the sky, whether that be sunrise or sunset. That should be coming up. But I hope you've enjoyed today. It was a little bit difficult to film on the bridge. There's a truck going by now. It was a little bit difficult to film on the bridge, but I'm happy with the images that I got on the bridge. I think they will turn out well. And I had a good morning. You know, any morning out is better than a morning in. You gotta love photography. Unsociable hours and fighting with the weather. Anyway, if you've liked today, don't forget to hit subscribe to see the next instalment. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.